Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday the 26th. Welcome to Looped In with Maritza. I sure hope that so far your week has been great, and it's been great just like mine has been. A few quick things. It's about 60 days or less until Election Day. Please make sure that you are registered to vote. Please make sure if you're going to vote and going to be mailing something that you mail it in early. Specifically for the state of Pennsylvania, you have until, I believe, October 27th to submit your mail-in ballot. And for those of you that are opting to vote in person, please do so. Please find out where your polling location is, and please make sure you go in early. Every single vote counts. Speaking about voting, the National Parents Union also is sponsoring a campaign at this time regarding voting. Our campaign is called Every Family Votes. If you're interested in that information, the Every Family Votes Committee has created a toolkit to help guide you through the process of registering your rights to voting and what you should do if you're interested. You can go on the National Parents Union webpage and click on the link tab for Every Family Votes. And in there, you will find the toolkit plus information on how being able to purchase some swag. Like I have a t-shirt on today that says Every Family Votes. They have face masks, they have stickers, they have mugs. I believe they have buttons, even a nice looking hoodie that I may be purchasing. So you may see that soon when it gets a little cooler outside. Please keep that in mind. Family, the National Parents Union also wants to encourage you to become a member of the National Parents Union. Please also go onto the webpage. In there is a link for the application for the National Parents Union, also an organizational link. It is of no cost to you. Although our title is National Parents Union, this is not an organization which will try to collect any dues from you. It is just a wonderful name to let everyone know that we are a union of parents, families, and individuals that believe in fighting for education, equity, and justice. Today's show is going to be very special. It's going to be a Philadelphia themed show. It is something that I'm very excited about. I have three very wonderful guests that I'm going to allow to introduce themselves as soon as they come on. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Take yourselves off mute.
How you doing?
Since you spoke up first, please introduce yourself.
Yes. How's everybody doing? My name is Eli Capella. I'm a creative and performer artist. I primarily specialize in MCing, singing, songwriting. I'm an event curator, entrepreneur, community advocate, and I teach children for a living through music, counseling, music therapy, so on and so forth. And I'm happy to be here.
Okay. The lovely lady, please. You're on mute, honey.
And I'm back.
There you go.
Hi, everyone, to all of your listeners and supporters. My name is Summer Willow Fitch. I am co-founder of the Black Women Give Grant-Making Foundation. I am also host of the Ladies Love Hip Hop podcast, as well as a, budding author, entrepreneur, and just all around Philly girl.
Last but not least, sir.
Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Carl Madison. I'm a creative artist and a music producer hailing straight out of Philadelphia.
Thank you all very much for giving me and us of your time to be on this show. I mean, my show, I've covered various topics, and I just wanted to make sure that I had at least one show where it was a little bit lighter. A lot of the shows have been very heavy regarding educational justice, very heavy talking about social injustices, very heavy talking about what's going on with COVID and schools, what's been happening with schools. So I decided I was purposeful in saying I want to do a show that's gonna help with what I consider part of my self-care, which is my love for music. So what I want to start off with is one of my most favorite genres of music. And I'm going to talk with Summer a little bit about Ladies Love Hip Hop. So tell me what that podcast is about, please. And also make sure, if you can, to put the link to that podcast in the comments so that our viewers could then, if they want to, tune in the next time you have a show.
There I go again. I'm so used to muting myself on Zoom calls. Uh, but I said, thank you, Maritza, for having me. I think that your platform is very important, and I know that you are right now dealing with a lot of heavy stuff. So I appreciate you taking the self-care day and including, you know, to the core. So, Ladies Love Hip Hop is a podcast that I created probably about 4 years ago. And this podcast is not based on women in hip hop, but it is a full on view of hip hop from my lens. It is a place where women who felt like they weren't noticed in hip hop or that they didn't have a voice to speak up about their favorites and what they like. That's what my page is for. I'm very heavy into the underground. I'm not a radio chick. I listen to what's good, what's hot, what's new. And I just try to put it out there for all of you to see. And the podcast is to interview up and coming artists, some of your favorites, some of the classics, and just getting a perspective. I do not ask basic, interview questions. I'm getting into, what did you eat for dinner last night? How'd you come up with that song? That's a good one. What are you doing about COVID? How are you fighting for justice? I really just want to get into the minds of those who make the music that we love. So that's what the podcast is about. And it can be found on SoundCloud, iTunes, Ladies LUV, hip hop. It's one word. You can also watch some of my interviews on YouTube under 2 words, Ladies Love, and then second word, hip hop.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Carl,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about Philly hip hop music. And please tell me about some of the collaborations you've been a part of.
Um, Back in 2015, I was able to collaborate on the GA40, which was a basically a birthday celebration and a party with Grand Agent. I had the pleasure of actually working with Summer for Ladies Love Hip Hop, so that was a pleasure. So we had DJ Tactics, DJ J Ski, Camp Low, Last Emperor. It was at Voltage Lounge, so we threw it. It was a good turnout. A lot of people came out. Dice Raw, EST, Black Thought. A lot of good people showed up, and just grateful for everyone who helped out. Summer included, and that was some of the people I got a chance to work with. Also got a chance to work with Malik, B from the Roots, and rest in peace to him. And sending out love to his family. But yeah, it was a good thing with GA40, and also a pleasure definitely to have worked with Malik.
Eli,
Yes, yes, yes.
please share with us some of your experiences, like who you've had the opportunity to collaborate with as well, and how has it been for you uh, to date as far as being able to share your music.
Oh yeah, that's a very loaded answer, so I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible.
Make it as long as you need to. That's fine.
So I would say in terms of me, primarily as an artist, I've had the opportunity to open up for many amazing artists, Styles P, Slick Rick, Smith and Wesson, Yaz the Greatest, Monica, Sister Sledge. So just like a plethora of different artists from different generations, different musical backgrounds, and because of the way that my music is constructed, like I'm also able to venture in different spectrums of different networks. So I get booked to perform in colleges. I get booked to perform in elementary schools, middle schools, just different amazing events. And basically, first of all, like I give all credit to God, you know, because I didn't see myself doing what it is that I'm doing in terms of the scope of being an artist. Like I always thought, oh, I'm gonna get signed by the time I get out of high school. Now, if you ask me about getting signed to a label, I'm like, no, I'm straight. You feel me? And in terms of community advocacy, I don't work a 9 to 5. I actually suck at working a traditional stable job. Shout out to Kyle J.R. Morris. He actually challenged me to quit my job like the day that I asked him to volunteer for him, because I knew that I didn't want to work 9 to 5, but I knew that I just didn't want to up and quit. So I was in seek of mentors. So I just was contacting different entrepreneurs, just different people that I saw doing what it was that I wanted to do, and I just let them know, yo, like if you need a volunteer, like I was willing to humble myself, like yo, don't like yeah, I'm Eli Capella the artist, but I'm as hungry as the person that isn't at the level of recognition that I'm at. So with that being said, I started working under the Eco Foundation nonprofit. Working as a teacher first, I started a curriculum surrounded on Black love and Black love internally, Black love externally, in terms of family and friends, and in terms of community as a whole. I taught 10 to 12th graders, and they were having a blast. Like it was a different kind of teaching environment. You know, I took all of the experiences that I had in high school, the things that I didn't get, the things that I wish could happen, and I pretty much embodied that, and it really impacted them. And then it transcended into me not teaching, but more so being a program leader. I started a curriculum called Y Tunes, and it's a studio recording therapy program where kids from the ages of, I believe, 5 to adults in their 20s and early 30s pretty much discuss topics that they feel like they can't really talk about, and we discuss it in song form. So I bring my studio to them. If they have trouble writing, then I'll gain insight on their stories, and I'll songwrite for them in a way that even though I wrote it, it still embodies the thoughts that are inside of their heads. And I'm actually working on implementing that in different schools now so that I can infiltrate the arts program, because public schools killed the arts program. I started playing saxophone, flute, just different instruments in middle school. By the time I got to high school, I couldn't do none of that. You know, thank God for me being able to write, because all of that pretty much transformed and adapted into rapping. So yeah, that's a gist of what I do.
So you gave me the perfect segue because I want to ask each of you, how has the ability to be part of the arts, being able to either play music, write music, sing music, or perform while you were in school, how important was that for you? And do you feel that it's very important that although we're living in a virtual age right now with teaching about to start in the city 100% virtual, tell me your thoughts on the importance of school leaders maintaining the arts for these young children throughout this COVID until it's over, until they can see each other face to face again. Some, if you can start it off
Yeah,
with a response.
absolutely. Wow, I talk about this often. Um, and if you hear some little Uzi Vert in the background, my neighbor's having a good day right now. So just take that. Just take that. So I talk about music in schools all the time. I was definitely a part of that era where I was trained to be a musician. I was classically trained violinist in middle, high, and college. And learning to read music, write music, learning to sing, that is math. That is, um, I know they call it things different now, but social studies, history, um, that is an expression of art. And it was a place where I made friends. I got to know a lot of people being in orchestras all over the city. I was all city, I was District 6. You know, I really networked being a violinist. And I also developed my brain, you know, in a way that only music and the arts can do. And it saddens me that it's taken out of schools because uh, personally, I believe that it was created that way, was designed that way to, you know, totally, you know, deflate the support systems in schools, especially in inner city schools in Philadelphia and all over the world. Um, we have been taken advantage of as taxpayers when it comes to education. And one of the ways that I know anybody on this earth can loop a child in, we're looped in with you. You want to loop a child in, turn some music on. You want to loop a young person in, put some art up, talk about some comic books. There's so many different ways to engage a mind outside of a book. And I believe that we have kind of crippled our young population by removing art from the schools. And I encourage a lot of these artists out here. I see a lot of artists talking about that more and talking about, there's a few initiatives going around right now in Philadelphia, even about the arts. And I'm going to look those up and make sure I post those as well. But we have to be very intentional about bringing our children back to their creative side, their creative points. That's why I love hip hop. I mean, hip hop is the ultimate um, wordplay, creation, marriage of music and rhyme and feeling that touches this entire world. Hip hop touches the entire world. Jazz didn't touch the entire world directly. It touched the entire world indirectly through hip hop. So, I mean, I really believe that we owe our children and we owe ourselves the opportunity to become musicians again and singers again and songwriters and composers again. And every time I'm on an interview, I get a phone call from somebody in the hip hop industry. And I want to give a shout out to Ant-Man Wonder, who just gave me a call. I'll call you back. But he is the epitome of what a composer is, straight out of Philadelphia. One of the best producers on the scene from North Philly. Classically trained, pianist, self-taught in some other areas, but this guy is art walking, and we owe our children that opportunity again. I can't hear you, Blue.
My apologies. Carl, please, if you don't mind. And here she go laughing. Be quiet.
So yeah, I think the arts is a definite thing that we need in the schools. I can remember being young and how much it was an outlet for me. So, being in school, being in Girard College, the writing, just writing letters back at home from my mom, going from there, but also having just this outlet to be able to create. And for me, it was a way to kind of get, some frustrations out. So for me, it was writing. It was writing out the feelings, the emotions, and putting it down on paper, which would gradually, transform into me actually rapping and performing, and then, eventually going into production. So I think the arts on any level, from whatever medium it is, if it's, painting, acrylic, sculpting, whatever it is some form of outlet that I think is beneficial to, the children in the school system.
Go ahead, Eli.
These are some really good answers. Can you ask the question one more time?
Well, how do you feel that being able to be musical
um,
in school helped you, and then how do you feel about making stressing to all of our school leaders right now that
uh,
they should make sure that they reinforce or maintain some type of arts for children even
mhm.
in this virtual way of learning.
Oh, I mean, I feel like art just in general in schools really plays a part in whatever it is that you want to do, whether it be an artist, whether it be a writer. Because I credit so many things, like just so many different art programs that were in school, to my ability to be able to perform at the level that I do, being an artist. Like I remember being a part of the young playwrights in middle school, and I was learning how to write literal plays, just and that takes a lot of imagination. That takes a lot of conceptualizing, and that takes a level of organization that 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 was taught to 12 to 14-year olds at a young age. And I feel like that seed played a part in me being able to drop conceptual projects and EPs. Me me learning how to play the flute, the saxophone, learning how to play different forms of percussion in school. That has a lot to do with my ability to be able to flow on a track, with my ability to learn how to count bars. I didn't know that not counting bars is turning into a pandemic in the rap community. It's so many youngins, it's so many artists that's older than me that rap they behind off. They do not know how to count bars, and that's an essential skill when it comes to being able to write and rap music. Music theory is something that is scarce when it comes to the artist community. A lot of people are so talented they could freestyle they behind up, they could rap off the dome, but if they can't put their thoughts on paper in an organized way where the listener can understand in layman's terms, me and Summer had a really good conversation about that on her podcast. And we were just really able to dive into our what is it that's missing. And me being an entrepreneur, I pay attention to what's missing, and I ask myself if I'm able to fill that void. And and I and I feel like when it comes to the art programs in school, I think what's very important right now is that if we're talking art, then up and coming artists should really answer the call to become teachers. Because one thing I learned, I think Joe Rogan was talking about this on his podcast where he was friends with a martial artist, and he was a pretty mediocre fighter prior to him teaching. And he said that once he started teaching, he became a black belt at an extremely fast pace. Once I started teaching hip hop, my level of performance skyrocketed. My level of songwriting skyrocketed. My diet, my my ability to do vocal warm-ups, because now you're at an extremely high level of accountability where you got to practice what you preach, and then you're literally relearning everything that you're learning as you're teaching, and that's very important. And you're not really shackled by the school system. Like shout out to Mr. King. He actually got me started in teaching, but unfortunately got fired by his school because he stood up for the art teacher. This was a man that brought thousands of dollars of equipment into a room so that children could be able to use it. And once they fired him, they literally uh they literally put all of that equipment inside of a room to just pick up dust.
Mm.
So I just think that it's important for us to, yes, implement the arts community, but to understand how important that independence is of being an independent contractor. Is
Okay.
so vital.
Okay. Thank you, Elijah. Now I'm about to age myself a little bit, and you guys can laugh and giggle and do all that.
I'm laughing
So,
already.
yes. So, for those of you that do not know my age, I'm 49. So, yes, I came up in an era where hip hop music was called rap music. And I was fortunate enough to live in a city in New Jersey that was a stone's throw away from New York. So back in the day when all these artists that are considered old school artists, they were young. They were in their prime. They were teenagers to early 20 people in their early 20s, and they were hungry. They
Mm.
were hungry. They had their 13-inch black vinyls singles in the trunks of their cars, in milk crates. They were hustling their music. They were going to every single venue they could find to perform their music. There were things in where I grew up in Passaic, New Jersey called Summer Sizzlers, where every single summer there was a stone stage at number 11 School Park, and you saw Kumo D when he was really, really thin. You saw Salt and Pepper when they were really, really young. You saw there was a group called 24 Karat. But
Mm.
my greatest memory was of meeting a rap duo that Elijah got a chance to meet in person a couple of years ago that have been my friends since I was 15, 16 years old. Smooth being Greg Nice, nice and smooth.
Woo.
And the awesome two, Special K and Teddy Ted. I used to work at a KFC in Passaic, New
Yes.
Jersey. And we were about to close. Now, back in the day when you worked fast food, when the food was finished, you got to bring the food home. So it was one of those nights when we had extra buckets of chicken, corn, and mashed potatoes. And my sister, she's laughing. My sister's here. I'm in her house. We were wrapping up the food, and somebody forgot to turn off the drive-through monitor. And a car, you hear the beep, beep. So there's a car trying to place an order. And we're like, we're closed. We're closed. We're closed. Oh man, come on, we hungry. We're trying to get something to eat. I was like, I'm sorry, but we're closed. So I turned the monitor off. A car pulls up to the drive-through window and they beeping their horn. I'm looking through. And I'm like, I knew who it was. It was nice and smooth. And, and the awesome two in the car. They were like, yo, we hungry. We just trying to eat. I said, okay, we're going to do this. I went ahead and we closed up. We went outside and we gave them our leftovers for the night. We gave them our bucket of chicken. We gave them some corn on the cob. We gave them some mashed potatoes. We gave them some biscuits. And they said thank you. They were so thankful that they popped the trunk. Teddy said, pop the trunk and said, pick whatever records you want. And I took some records with me. And to this day, whenever they are in the tri-state area, I go see them. Because back in the day, they were so honest, so true. They're still around. They're still making music. They're still performing like nothing else. Even though I don't want to age them, they're a little older than me. They're in their 50s, but they still got it. They still had that same energy. And I guarantee you that kind of energy is due to them doing what they love at an early age. And they probably did a whole lot of it in school. So I want to give you guys a little taste of some Philly flavor. And I want to hear Eli right now. Thank you.
Okay. What's about to happen?
Eli Capella.
Cool. So I put out a project called Quarantine Dreams. I decided to release it exclusively on SoundCloud because I realized that a lot of children like listening to my music. That's another thing that shocked me. I never thought that 12 and 13-year-olds would be like, yo, I love your music. So I put this project out in March during the height of the quarantine. I didn't have a studio to go to, and I had a bunch of studio equipment that I was afraid to use for an entire year, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And I'm glad to say that this project has over 60,000 streams on SoundCloud, and I want to perform a track. And the first track is called Savior. It's just pretty much touching on the climate of what we were just talking about just now. So yeah, I'm gonna play it through my speaker, and if y'all can hear it clearly, just give me a thumbs up or something like that. And if y'all want to follow me, y'all can do so at ELICAPELLA9. I say it one more time, ELICAPELLA9. So if y'all like what y'all hear, y'all can follow me, cop some merch, all that good stuff. It's still downloading. So yeah. Oh, and the second song is also called We Are One. And yeah, so that's the second one I'm going to perform in. Shout out to National Parents Union. Let's get it. Y'all hear it?
Yep.
And y'all can hear me? Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. So yeah, this song called Savior, Quarantine Dreams. I'm going to do my best to get as loose as I can because I'm an energetic performer, you know? Yeah, all I hear about is the virus when I see my widescreen. Funny, they don't acknowledge the sentence of Weinstein. But when it comes to the fact that we still cannot find these sex trafficking victims, they talked about Cosby shutting down all the schools. I'm off on the bye week, stressing, missing all of my youngins I cannot teach. Ain't nobody letting them speak their mind besides me. Taking the shekels off, setting their mind free. I think I'm a savior, I forgot that I'm not he. Always portraying something that I cannot be. Forging a chapter in my life I cannot read until reality start asking for ID. Doctors and nurses all certain the IV. Police patrolling, not for murder and robbery. Daddy's consoling all the youngers who try and eat. Feeling so nervous about ordering Chinese. Ain't many choices when you don't really got cheese. Overtime ain't available when the job sees. Looking up to the heavens and crying, God please speak to our soul, cause they ain't a thing we could control, and that's facts. Broken, I can't do my job. Hopeless and feeling so right. Trapped and cannot go outside. Don't know what to do with my time. Down and I really need love. Can't get it, ever no hug. I see you, mom. Live in a world with no trust. I really missed the listen to little bro as he was venting his crimes. They might cancel his graduation ceremony and prom. I thought about the happiness exuding out of my mom, adjusting my tie cause I had trouble putting it on. Escorting some fly dates out their crib to a song. Daddy proud that his young ain't never mimicked this wrong. Sitting at my graduation as my name getting called. I'd be devastated if that very moment was gone. Now I'm thinking about some accolades I might not achieve. To keep it to being, that's something that get hard to believe. Grinding hard for on the war, I might not achieve. That's why I feel for college graduates who won't get degrees. Stopping local businesses due to fear of disease. Still expecting us to pay our bills and government fees. Wanna lean on my community to put me at ease. But y'all be looking at me like I'm crazy soon as I sneeze. Jeez. Broken, I can't do my job. Hopeless and feeling so fried. Trapped and cannot go outside. Don't know what to do with my time. Down and I really need love. Can't get it up in no hug. I live in a world with no trust. I really miss the way it was. Yeah, I said I really miss the way it was. So when you just going through, just be real. I really miss the way it was. We all in quarantine, stuck in the crib, and it be like, I really miss the way it was. The way it was. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice,
Woo!
nice,
Thanks so much.
nice,
Thank you.
nice.
That was dope.
Thank you. Means a lot. Means a lot.
Summer,
Yes,
can you talk to me about the foundation, please? Tell us again the name of it,
I
what it's
can.
about.
I can, but can I just say something about that performance real quick?
Yes,
Oh man.
please.
So I just want to speak to people 40 and over right now, 30 and over even right now. Um, a lot of us get stuck when we're listening to music and we want the classics. And that's cool. That's cool. But there is so much good music out here, right? Many talented MCs walking the streets of Philly and all over the globe. And when you shut your ears down to hip hop, because there's some trash out there, I must admit. But there's some good stuff out here. And I really encourage you to support this brother for two reasons. One, he smiles. Okay, he smiles. He has a smile on his face. That's something that we all need. And two, his message is love. It's powerful. Even when he's digging in his bag, talking about, something very deep to him, he is so positive and gives a full story. And you need to support people like this. You need to support music like this. He just told you that he's in the business of supporting other people. So that's the type of person you want to give your money to. Okay. And I'll segue that into the Black Women Give Foundation, because that is also a place where all of us come together and collectively give to the Southeastern Pennsylvania communities. The Black Women Give Foundation was founded in 2017 by four fierce women. I'm being one of them. Shayna Sally McMillan, Jacqueline Ferguson, and Tamika Good Otis. We desperately wanted to see this happen, and it was the brainchild of Shayna McMillan. She created the foundation in her mind to be a hub where the community could come together and pool their monies and heal itself from within. So this is a grant making foundation. What we do is we support the collective giving model. Everybody puts in a donation, and that donation is collectively drawn and then awarded to an organization in the community that is uplifting and sustaining the community. And our focus areas are education, children and youth education, financial literacy, health and wellness. We are a group of women who are responsible for our neighborhoods. And we ask that those who want to see things happen in their neighborhoods dig in their pockets and start to funnel those monies back. Because if you're an organization in Philadelphia, if you're a nonprofit, you know that there are very restricted funds out there that'll tell you, you can only spend it on this and you can only spend it on that, but your boots are on the ground and you know what the needs are in your communities. These funds are for folks who need a little bit more wiggle room. And in our first year, we were able to amass $5,000 by sometimes $50 donations from some folks, putting that all together and awarding it to the I Choose to Win Foundation. We set out to double the impact this year, and I'm happy to say that we have doubled the impact and we'll be giving out $10,000. We've already awarded 5, and there's 5 more to go. We are so excited about doing the work that sustains communities for underserved people, people of color, people who are disenfranchised, and people who have needs that are not met. So the Black Women Give Foundation is all about giving back. And I would like to also mention before I stop, the Black Tie Foundation. I know it's the Black Women Give Foundation, but all are welcome to join. But we do have an arm of the foundation called the Black Tie. And the Black Tie Foundation is head up by the men who support our mission. And they're also rallying men to stand behind this cause and donate in the name of women that they know and love. So I encourage you all to visit www.bwgive.org. That's BWGIVE.org. Make a donation, find out what's going on, and you can also follow us at BWGive on Instagram.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Summer, please do me a favor and make sure that you put the podcast, write it all out in the comments, as well as the foundation information. So that way, if anyone that's not able to look at us live today can go back to this video and get the information from the comments.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
I want to talk about music some more.
Okay.
So you know what I miss? You know what I've been missing?
What's that?
The shows, the live shows, the shows that we love going to. I mean, I miss not going to the Dell. We miss the Roots picnic.
Oh my God.
I miss going to Voltage. I miss what's the other one? What's the what is it? Not the Trocadero. Yeah, the Trocadero. Yeah. I miss going there. Yeah. I mean, aside from all these wonderful artists doing all these verses against each other, or that wonderful compilation that I saw of old school hip hop. What was that DJ's name that did that compilation that just blew up the internet with all the old school artists?
What you mean?
Are you talking about DJ D Nice?
D Nice? D Nice?
No, not D Nice. I know who D. I got a story about D Nice, but the other brother from New York that he got everybody he knew in hip hop to do like a Zoom call to come in, and they did a little bit of their own music, and it just blew up the internet.
Yeah, I saw that.
One of you remember that DJ's name, because it just left me.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I saw that.
Hopefully somebody in the comments will put that in there, because I mean, I saved it, I looked at it, I actually worked out to it last week. But what do you think? What do you think about the concept, because I saw it, the concept of them doing socially distanced concerts, either from a person being in their car watching it, or where they actually really socially distance the seating to still be able to see somebody live. Do you think that's something that, for me, that loves music, that needs music, that needs to see people live performing it, do you think it's gonna fly, that it's gonna really happen?
What you mean as far as like we'll get back to that, or
Do you think
is that what?
it'll, I mean, as far as the socially distanced concerts, do you think that'll be a good thing for, for everybody that misses seeing the live performances?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, I watched the Erica Badu after it was the Jill versus Erica, and I watched a little bit of that, and I think it's a good thing to for the artists to still be creative, but also I think for people in this time frame, especially dealing with like mental health and just raising the spirits, and I think that's what made what D Nice did was really cool, because it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we needed our spirits raised. But I think also the live performances is good too, because we get to see it. We still need, and this goes back to the creativity, having it in the schools, but also we still need to see it and we still need to interact. It is still some form of outlet for us that we just all need. And I think it's a good thing. I think the verses is a good thing. Not every verses is going to be the greatest or whatever, but I still think it's a great thing. It gives us a chance, to laugh, when your uncle is doing too much, to laugh at Teddy Riley, and he can laugh at himself about it too, So all this stuff is good for the culture, for the people, and for just bringing everybody's spirits up. I think it's good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because look, I just have to say,
Maritza, would you
yes,
go to a concert?
yes.
Okay.
As long as I knew, I
Okay.
mean, I'll do the in-car.
I'm
I'll
just
do the
setting the
in-car
poll.
thing. Yeah, I'll do the in-car thing every day if I could. I want to
Okay.
go to a drive-in movie, but I'll stay in my car. But just all of you know, just the ability. I mean, putting headphones in and just sitting back and listening to your favorite artist is wonderful. I do it every day. But there's something about seeing somebody live, to get that richness in their tone, in their voice, seeing the expressions. Heck, even seeing there being a faux pas with the mic. It's still going on right there. Like, I was just asking somebody, and this is a different genre of music. I love salsa. I love Mark Anthony. I saw him live a couple of years ago, in Newark, New Jersey, and it was amazing. I'm like, am I ever going to hear him again? There's so many artists that you wonder, are you ever going to be able to sit and enjoy or stand and dance to that person, seeing them live? That is something that I hope can happen. I hope people please follow safety and wear their masks so we can try to get this thing under control. So we're never going to go back to the way things used to be, but we can try to improve upon that and make it so that some of the things that were taken away can be given back, even if it's in a moderated form.
I think it would be up to a venue. I think it would be up to a venue to be, the catalyst to social distancing concerts and have the backing of the city and maybe some other social groups to really be intentional about social distancing, but also intentional about the artists. Like, I would even, and I'm being honest. I support entrepreneurs and artists are entrepreneurs. I would even pay double for a ticket to sit in a venue with half the people and see the artist so that they don't walk away not paid, because they can't necessarily go to a job after that. Like, I'm cool with paying $65 or what $50 at Voltage or something like that, like, or $60. I'm cool with that. But somebody has to say, all right, we're going to do it.
Yeah. I will go to Electric Factory and, to see an artist at the Electric Factory, I'll pay $75 to $100. If they say, okay, for $150, we're going to have somebody here, standing room only venue, but we're going to make sure everybody is spaced out. And if you want that VIP, you definitely got to pay more money, but still be spaced out. I mean, I would do it because that's how much of a music lover I am.
Right.
I would definitely do it. And I want to give a big shout out to all those DJs out there. You know, the ones that I know. I know DJ ACL, love him. I know DJ Teddy Ted, love him. D Nice, he may not remember me, but love him too. You know, the ones from here, DJ Reezy, I'm gonna shout you out too. You know, my girl Yanita, you know, she's not fully doing it, but she's a DJ too. Everyone that I know that loves their craft and has found it hard, the artists, the performers, the writers, the singers, everyone that has found it hard, we still love you. We miss you. We can't wait to be able to see you again physically, to hear you again physically, so that everyone that loves music and use it as part of their self-care to just lift their spirit, just as Carl said, we all need an uplifting of spirit. And with that being said, I hope Eli is ready to give us another one that's going to uplift us and make us bop our heads a little more. So I'm ready to hear it. And I know everybody else is too.
All right. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to Summer. I really appreciate that. So it's crazy that y'all talking about this, because I've actually been thinking about doing a social distancing concert because I put out. Oh, my apologies. Can y'all hear me better now? All right, yeah. So like, I've been thinking about just different ways to flourish because if you ask me, in my opinion, like despite everything that's been going on, 2020 has been a really dope year, especially for me being an entrepreneur. Like I feel like now is the time, especially in the underground, to really take hold of these opportunities that are taking place, and you just gotta be able to see them. So with that being said, I'm gonna perform this last track. This is also from Quarantine Dreams. It's the last song, and I'm pretty sure that everybody will find a sample to be familiar, especially if you're from Philly. So yeah, I hope you like it. Thumbs up if y'all can hear it. All right, bet. So yeah, this song is called "We Are One." Uh, Pretty much just recapping on everything that's been going on in this pandemic that we in right now, and just showing that at the end of the day, man, we're forced to face ourselves in a situation, but also recognize that it's deeper than us. You know, it's a really good duality that comes with it. Yeah, look, the corona became a roller coaster when it arrived. Safe to say that the whole world stuck on a ride. I don't mean no disrespect to my people who died, but the virus is a blessing in the form of disguise. I learned to cherish every form of physical embrace, being grateful when a community could share space, having a healthy conversation while we face to face. Crazy how every minor thing we did was out of faith. We at a point where human interaction ain't safe. Hanging out with a loved one, a risk we can't take. Our lives is at stake, but we gotta understand, even though it's chaotic, it's still a part of God's plans. Families getting closer when there used to be tension. Parents got the time to get a son and daughter attention. The pandemic we in became another chance given to meditate on times we had selfish ambition. Man, listen, I ain't never been in days like this. Never thought I'd see a change like this. Ain't no running from the shame I hid. Making peace with everything I did. Reminiscing back on we'd all fight. Now we hoping we gon' be alright. Steady printing when it's said and done. Second verse. Look, the revolution won't be televised. No, it gotta be within the heart and mind. True, within my music you embark in mine. Yeah, and recognize it's cool that you ain't fine. Look, we all running from something, we all faking and fronting, pain and what we wanting. I know it's hard to confront it, especially when we sober. It's easier to be blunted while part of music is dumping and getting lit at the function. Drinking away our sorrows, acting like it ain't nothing. I worried about tomorrow, lighting the Ellen puffing. COVID-19 intervening the discussion, shutting down businesses like they all under construction. Now we know they ain't fronting, quarantining while stuck in our places, facing problems with no choice but to trust it. The most high, hoping we can rectify trouble past so that we treating each other better when this moment pass. I ain't never been in days like this. Never thought I'd see a change like this. Ain't no running from the shame I hid. Making peace with everything I did. Reminiscing back when we'd all fight. Now we hoping we gon' be alright. Steady praying when it's said and done. We can recognize we are one. So yeah, it's Quarantine Dreams. 60,000 streams. Shout out to everybody that's listening, to the people that's going to listen. And yeah, that's We Are One.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I want to give a special
Yeah.
shout out to a young lady that was also going to be a guest, who was also going to perform for us and show us her lovely voice. Shout out to Sariah Nicole Frazier. Hopefully, I will be able to get her on very soon for your viewing and listening pleasure, because she is an amazing singer, songwriter, also an entrepreneur. My goal was to have, a young man and young lady perform for us, but some things happen out of control, and I hope all the best for her and that she comes back to Philly soon. I would like each of you to please give me, in about 2 minutes each, any final words of encouragement that you may have for our families, for our children, for our teachers, our school leaders, stressing to them the importance of, even through this age, to maintain the arts and maintain the music. Carl, if you can, what words of encouragement would you give to our families and school leaders and things like that? Because we're seeing right here with Eli, he has maintained his art throughout, regarding whatever obstacles. So what words of encouragement would you have for all the young people, the families, the teachers? What would you tell them about the arts and how important they are as far as education?
Yeah, it's about cultivating those talents. It's about, the family, especially during this time, like Eli mentioned, you get closer. Some families that were distant are now closer, and you really get to see where everybody stands in your life. So I think it's important to cultivate the talents, whether it's writing, whether it's art, no matter what it is. That mental health is so important right now, and making sure that we all have an outlet, whether we're adults, whether we're children, teachers, whatever your occupation or your age is. It's important to have some sort of outlet to maintain the mental health, especially during this time.
Okay, Miss Summer Willow Verano. Summer, you hear me? Oh, okay.
I'm going to unmute myself this time.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I think that this pandemic has allowed for us to Carl's point, be closer as a family, be closer as friends, and start to really understand just the day-to-day on what people go through. Knowing that there is a need for all of us to practice self-care, and for all of us to funnel and channel our energy into something positive. There has long been a need for our young people to be able to do that in schools and through education. I encourage all of the parent and teacher groups, all of the young people that have, student groups that fight for, different policies and procedures and laws and rules for the school system, to fight for music in schools again. And then I'm also going to go out and say, just like the example of, we're waiting on a venue to be the one to step out on a limb. I'm waiting for a school to step out on a limb and buy instruments and teach their students how to play them, and teach them how to sing, and teach them how to paint. I'm challenging artists in the community who are amazing to go into these schools for free and teach these young people how to paint and how to draw. I think that we need to do our part as a community and stop waiting for handouts. That's why we started Black Women Give, because we can do this. We can do this together. But we have to be willing to do things for free. And we have to be willing to, add a couple more hours to our day for a young person's development. And we can't just sit in here and scream and cry about COVID and I don't want my kids going to school. What do you want your children to do? Because if there is something you really want and desire them to do, I'm sure there's other parents that feel the same, and you can form a network. to help and make those things come to life. But I think that we need to stop with the excuses. We need to pull our talents out of our hats, stop being lazy adults, and stop blaming our young people for the things that they're doing when we're responsible for them. So we need to act responsible. And I'm calling on hip hop to act responsible as well. You know, I listen to a lot of music. It's not necessarily for children. And I'm not saying that you're responsible for raising children, but you are responsible for your community as well. So I'm asking for those messages to be in your music, and then you're talking to people. But let's all just do our part.
Oh, it's me. All right, yeah. Really, really, really good stuff. I just want to say as artists, just to continue. Oh, can you hear me now? Let me turn it up some more. That's better. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to first of all hold myself accountable as an artist to just continue to brainstorm, like not let the circumstance of the environment stop the intention that it is that I'm trying to push out here. No, the bars concert didn't happen this year. The bars concert is an annual concert series that I started last year that pretty much implemented intergenerational networking that gave underground artists a chance to feel like a professional artist without needing a Grammy or so on and so forth. And there was a chance to also take from the foundational qualities that came from the Bronx and bring it into a concert venue with like free food, sponsors this, that, and the third. And just being at this interview just got me brainstorming like, yo, like I still don't understand why
We seem to have gotten stuck. I don't know if Elijah came back on, but we're going to keep this moving. I appreciate the messages, the insight, the words of encouragement that all three of you have given my viewers today. I really appreciate it. And I say this often, do not be surprised if I ask you back, because the guests that I ask is a reason why I asked them, can you be on my show? I appreciate that you said yes. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience with the technical issues. Um, I hope you all stay safe and you stay encouraged and keep on doing what you amazingly do. And I love all three of you guys. You know that. What I normally do is, you guys want to stay on to watch, feel free to do so. I just want to say a few parting words to our family that watches us, and have a great one. I love you all very much. Family,
Well, yeah.
NPU family. Thank you once again for tuning in, for being here, for giving of your time and allowing me to just show you a little bit of my city that I love. Um, Born in Brooklyn, raised in Passaic, New Jersey. Shout out to them. Living in Philly. I mean, I always say it. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Passaic, living in Philly. Uh, we have such a tremendous opportunity to ask of our school district, to ask of our families, to ask of those people that are within their means to help, to try to make sure, not even try, to make sure that something as important as the arts stay as part of the actual curriculum in schools. Not that it just be an extracurricular activity, that it be part of the curriculum. Some of my fondest memories of being in school was I had a class that was choir. Friends of mine were in band class, dance class. It wasn't something extra. It wasn't something they had to wait till the end of the school day. It was built into their educational career. The arts, an art class. These are things that are very important. A lot of people do not realize that when you learn things about music, when you learn things about art, just as it was said earlier, It helps develop a young mind in a positive way. A lot of things come from that. You've seen prove it with these three wonderful people. They have been exposed to the arts at an early age throughout their educational careers. And as a result, they're doing amazing things. And I know they're going to continue to do amazing things. If you are a person that is able to financially support a cause that will make sure that a particular school has instruments, that they be given art supplies, that they be given sound equipment, do so. Do it. It's needed. Make sure that when you're speaking to people in government, those people that are going to be changing policies, make sure that the part of the education policy also includes maintaining an arts program so that you don't have to fight for those funds every single year. Make sure it's something that is part of the budget for the year, and that there's a fair funding formula that is guaranteeing that these very much needed resources are in the budget every single year without having to beg and cut corners. Because the first thing that went was arts and music. And it's a shame. It needs to be brought back. Like I said, music is my part of my self-care. I'm going to continue the self-care topic next week, speaking to a licensed social worker and a doctor. It's going to be a very interesting show. Aside from speaking to a gentleman that is a very powerful educator in the city of Camden, New Jersey, I'll be putting it in. I'll be making announcements about it, so I'm not going to give it away yet. But I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please let me know. My email is Maritza, Maritza at npunion.org. If you want to reach out to me, if you want any further information about the National Parents Union, info at npunion.org. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please share them with me. I hope you've enjoyed this show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace and blessings. Thank you very much.